Hello friends, this video on reproductive health part 3 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. So let us first start with the first thing, that is family planning. So as I said, this is going to be an important aspect of reproductive health. Now, the very first question, why is family planning necessary? Now, the word family planning, that means somebody is planning his family. Somebody is trying to plan how big his or her family should be. Basically, their family should be. So, it is the couple who has to decide that how many kids they want, how much big family they want. So, family planning is extremely necessary to limit the huge increase in population. As I said, the population has been continuously increasing. So, it is very important to put a check on this increase in population. So, how can that be done? By limiting the size of each one of our family. So, let us see what would happen if the population keep on increasing too much. So, what could be the result of overpopulation? Now, when the population keeps on increasing, right, what happens? The amount of food which is there, that still remains almost the same. I mean, even though that is also increasing, let us suppose, but if the increase in population is much more than the increase in food or all the other facilities, in that case, what is going to happen? There will be scarcity of food, clothing, shelter. So it is like, let us suppose you have a house, right? And that house is big enough to accommodate, say, 4 people. Say you have a small house, right? Let us suppose there is just one person who is earning in the family, and his income is good enough to handle 4 people. So if there are 4 people in the family, he can provide all the luxury to them. But now what would happen if the same house with the same income has, say, 20 members? What do you think will happen? Obviously, the person will not be able to provide, forget about luxury, he might not be able to provide them even the basic necessities. So they just can't go for shopping anytime they want. They just can't eat whatever they want, because anything which is expensive, they might not be able to afford it. That house might become congested for 20 people, so it will be difficult for them to adjust there. So that is the exact scenario with overpopulation, or what we call as population explosion. So when there is too much of increase in population, then your quality in terms of your education, because even education needs some money, right? So you cannot afford quality education, you cannot afford even a place for your shelter, you cannot afford proper food, you cannot afford clothing, your financial status obviously goes down, because when just one member is earning and there are 10 members in the family, it becomes really difficult. So what is required is to plan your family as per your budget. So if you think that you earn a very small amount, so in that case you should just have one kid, so that at least you can provide all the facilities to that one kid. If you think that no, you earn well enough to manage 2 kids, then okay, you can have 2 kids, but more than 2 is an absolute no-no, looking at the overall population of the world. Because even if you think that you can afford to have 4 kids, please do not give birth to 4 kids. Instead, you can have 2 kids of your own, and the remaining extra money which you have, that you can give it to somebody who needs it all the more, because there are so many people who do not earn as much as you do. So that ways you can use up your money instead of just increasing the head count, right? So overpopulation needs to be controlled, and that is why family planning has been put in place. So see, this is what happens. You have the resources remains almost the same, but the population increases tremendously. Now the question is, how can family planning be done? How exactly is family planning implemented? So few of the things to be noted is proper age gap between children. Now those who have more than one kid, for example, people have 2 kids or 3 kids, many of them even today they have 3 kids, but a proper age gap should be maintained. For example, it should not happen that you gave birth to a child and by the time the child is just 3 months or 4 months old, or maybe 6 months, you are again carrying another child. So that is not right. Why? Because the first child gets neglected after the second child is born. But by that time, the first child is not even, say, 1 year or 1.5 years old. So that time also he needs a lot of care, a lot of attention, which he doesn't get because the second child is also on the way. So you should always have some proper age gap, maybe at least 3 to 4 years of gap should be there between children, so that by the time your first kid is almost 3-4 years old and he is like little big and all, he can take care of himself, by that time you can plan a second baby. Control the number of children in a family to 1 or 2 depending upon the family's income. See, this is very important because everything depends on your financial status, how much you can afford for your family. So if you feel that the income is quite low, you should have only 1 kid. Have 1 kid but give him all the facilities. Afford education for him, provide him good food, provide him a good house to stay, provide him luxury to enjoy. So try to provide him everything. So give him the quality of life. Just do not go on quantity. Just don't keep on adding children. So in fact, these days it has become a trend in most of the urban areas where families have started preferring 1 kid. So they are happy with just 1 kid. But however, some of them even have 2. So it should not be more than 2, looking at the population of our country. No differentiation between male and female child, because it has been observed that just for the want of a male child, many people feel that okay, having a boy is far better than having a girl. I really don't know why. Now, with that thought in mind, what they do is, let us suppose the first baby, when they have their first baby, it turns out to be a girl. So they think that okay, let us try for a second baby, maybe it will be a boy. The second baby again turns out to be a girl. Okay, they think, let's try another one. Maybe this will be a boy. So it has been observed in many families that they end up having some 6 girls followed by 1 boy. So it is like you had 7 kids. However, you did not plan for 7 kids. You never wanted to have 7 kids. You just wanted to have a male child. And in order to have a male child, you ended up having 7 kids. Now, looking at your income, you are not able to provide the basic necessities to the 7 kids. Because if you have 7 kids, it means that you need to provide food to all of them. You need to provide education to all of them. And it has been observed that then in this case, you can see how much that parent must be loving a male child, that they gave birth to so many female child. So now what happens is, most of the female children gets neglected because their parents don't have that much money to afford their education or to afford a good living for all of them. So this is absolutely not correct, and this absolutely makes no sense to differentiate between a male and a female child, because these days, whether it is a girl or it is a boy, that doesn't make much difference except for the biological differences. Whether you talk about their education, whether you talk about their capability, both of them can do good. Both of them can do good for their parents also. They can take care of their parents, they can take care of themselves, they can be independent, they can be educated. So both of them are equal. So they complement each other. So there should be no differentiation between a male child and a female child. Parents should plan a baby at their right age. Again, at the same time, it's like if you want to have a baby, it should neither be too early. Let us suppose if the couple is around 20 years old, it is like they are very young. So if you think that you are too young right now, you yourself don't know how to you are not very confident that you will be able to take care of a baby properly, then please wait for some time. Similarly, if you think that you are too old now, then that is also not the right time, because the right time for a female, when she can actually take care of a baby, or when she can actually comfortably give birth to a baby, is around 20 to 35 years. Now sometimes it happens that some females, being too busy with their family lives or being too busy with work or anything, so sometimes the couple decide to plan a baby too late, when maybe they are in their 40s. But then again, since you are yourself growing quite old, so you are not that energetic yourself, so you yourself tend to fall sick. So that would be difficult. Then it would be difficult for you to take care of another baby. So the baby has to be planned at the right age, neither too early nor too late. Thank you. Please visit www.examfear.com to watch more videos. attempt free online test, get free study material, find tutors and mentors. Thank you once again.